The hip-hop industry finally achieved a jaw-dropping twist. Imagine this Jen Jones fresh off his blockbuster cocaine deal arrest is behind prison, and now murmurs are swirling that Cameron Harm's own Pink Panther might be next under the microscope. What you heard, that right, Cameron under investigation fans are shocked. Emotions ran crazy throughout social feeds when rumors grew into full-blown news. Cameron's name emerges in Seal Court docs. Dipset's empire. Astonished lawyer worry caught on camera. Might this be an instance of guilt by association? Or is there something deeper simmering amid the shadows of Harlem's most legendary rap sources near to the Dipset inner circle? Alleged federal officials are checking into old phone logs. Financial records, even private text connections, all in chase of the smoking gun family, was left divided. Some insisting Cameron is innocent, others saying that he's been hiding things for years. And let's not forget the personal stakes: Cam's reputation, the future of Dipset, and the fortunes of everyone related to the dynasty. The conflict is serious, the drama is great, and one question looms greater than ever. Is Dipset suffering its darkest hour? Nevertheless, cling on to your chairs. This drama is only just began. Hold on to your seats. The courtroom doors opened open again, and Cameron stepped through with a heavy heart. Whispers followed him down the marbled dark shadows of mistrust, accompanied every stride he was encircled by his lawyers. Marcus Reed, whose face was steely weary reports, claimed Reed had spent the complete night looking over material collected for a day that would define Cam's legacy. When they neared the seat, cameras clicked in rapid-fire sequence. Nevertheless, Cam hesitated to acknowledge. Their gaze instead have fixed on the glossy floor tiles, as if plotting out a method to safety that might not exist inside the stifling courtroom. The judge's gavel dropped, sounding like a remote warning. The prosecution turned to a fresh piece of video, security film from a warehouse on the outskirts of the city. In the grainy black and white clip, a figure, like Cam, moved among stacks of boxes, conversing in low tones with a gnome colleague of Jim Jones. The audio cracked and a jury member pushed forward, eyebrows knitted. We have testimony that on March 12th, Mr. Carter met with Mr. Jones, Lieutenant, the prosecutor, in tone using Cam's genuine name. They talked delivery logistics and profit splits. The room held its breath. Jamal, a Dipset road manager, sat in the gallery, heart beating. He had sworn to safeguard the group's reputation. Yet no, we felt powerless. He glanced at his phone. Social media feeds exploded with Cam related to the drug ring headlines. Followers were astonished, their trust tested. Before that morning, Jamal had tweeted Dipset till we die. But now he considered erasing it. What if the phrases they written about loyalty and brotherhood sounded hollow? The family was left divided, some pressing for an immediate public declaration. Others advocated silence till the facts revealed in an adjacent studio. Jadaku's paced like a caged lion. He had flown in from home for support, just to be shocked by the warehouse footage. That's bullshit, he whispered, replaying the video on his phone cam. Was there scouting beats? Not counting bricks? His producer Tone placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. We'll get to the bottom of this, Tone guaranteed. Although his voice quivered, Jataku's nodded, but inside uncertainty gnawed at him. He remembered the wonderful times, late-night ciphers in basement, the scent of new ink on recording contracts, the strong friendship forged despite difficulty. Suddenly, those recollections looked like smoke in the breeze back at the courthouse door. A throng of press and demonstrators, suddenly a group waving free camera posters lined off against a smaller, more furious crowd claiming, "No one is above the law." Chants swamped the air and sirens wailed in the distance. A teenage fan, Riley, shouted, tears in her voice, "He's harmless, I guarantee it." Across the street, a spectator photographed Dipset as dead gravity on a brick wall. The scenario appeared like a conflict zone, not the origin of some of hip-hop's most renowned tunes. Emotions ran high, and each camera point provided a unique glimpse of the commotion. Down deep in the depths of the field office, agents sat around a conference table, covered in documents. They followed phone calls, bank transfers, and email headers, piecing together what they anticipated would be a watertight case. One seasoned agent, Rachel, pointed to a ledger recording a series of cash withdrawals timed precisely with Jim Jones's shipments. 2 entries contained Cam's initials. And sloppy handwriting that's suspicious. She noted her partner Mark frowned. But we need more than initials. Rachel nodded, pressing her pen-moist subpoena to every transaction. That fits his established patterns, the grind of paperwork and legal motions, mirrored the pressure, emerging on the streets when the afternoon light sunk low. A fresh twist erupted. Cam's defense team constructed a text communication chain, establishing that the initials were a hidden reference to Curtis and nickname for a childhood friend, not Cam. The prosecution's chief investigator agent Hughes combed when he read the disclosure. The courtroom gasped. The judge paused, adjusting his spectacles to clarify what he had heard for a moment. It seemed like Cam might have caught a break. The tightness in his shoulders relaxed considerably, only to be replaced by nagging fear. Would this be enough to clear his name, or merely a temporary relief outside? Meanwhile, the rumor mill churned harder. Late-night conversation programs grabbed. On the Text Bomb show discussing heavily on Cam's involvement, one host Blair did Cam get away with it, while another answered, or is this just a diversion? Fans fired back and forth online messages of support blending with calls for responsibility. The public square had become a digital coliseum, and Cam was at its core. He witnessed it all happen from the sidelines, heart-heavy with remorse that his name had ever come in the same sentence as unlawful dealings at home Cam's family dealt with. The influence his younger sister Kiara refused to left her bedroom eyes red from sobbing. Their mother, Donna, put together care gifts for him, packing homemade sandwiches and a handwritten letter, reminding him of the value of family they can't remove. Your spirit, she wrote. Remember who you are. But even her relentless hope had fractures. She left her window ajar that morning, expecting for police sounds that would proclaim the worst. Each faraway wail drove her heart surging in a stark contrast. Jim Jones Satin, his cell chuckling at the news word had reached him that Cam's name was plastered throughout headlines. He tapped a finger on the bars. Amused Dipset's heritage ends with you, Cam, he murmured to himself, even behind bars Jones wielded. Influence stirring the pot. His legal counsel, Dawn, visited with him via a glass wall. She conveyed news of the text message bombshell. Jones chuckled gently. Let them fight over crumbs, he said. Voice cold. I'll be out soon, and when I am, I'll restore what's mine. His ploy to weaken Cam and gain control of Dipset had succeeded beyond his darkest hopes. Meanwhile, Jules Santana remained a wild card. He had stayed out of the storm publicly, but insiders report he met privately with Cam one night, offering encouragement. An insider intel will weather anything, Jules reminded him. Just keep to the truth. Oucha, Cam nodded, appreciative but weary. Their bond, created by mutual challenges, has never been more vital. But Jules himself faced scrutiny. Others felt he was negotiating his position with federal prosecutors, offering proof in exchange for leniency. Betrayal loomed around every corner. The city buzzed as night fell, the dazzling lights of Harlem's clubs and studios contrasting with the sad headlines dominating news feeds. Dipset's empire, once established on unity and swagger, now teetered on the brink. Loyalties were. The whispers were widespread, and every new development felt like another blow. For Cameron, the battle was not just about clearing his reputation. It was about defending a legacy as he prepared to return to that courtroom the next morning. He knew he couldn't do it alone. The fate of Dipset and perhaps his own future rested on the decisions he made in the days ahead. Section 1 finishes with Cam staring at the courtroom ceiling. Softly pledging to fight back, he clutched his lawyer's hand and said, I won't let them steal everything from me. The echo of his pledge lingered in the air, setting the stage for the next chapter in a saga that had only just commenced. The instant Cameron pronounced those words, a fresh determination flooded over him like steel. He had sensed terror, but now he was ready to strike back without warning. The courtroom door flew open again, and the next witness was called, a former Dipset roadie named Marcus Smooth Davis. Smooth walked to the stand. Eyes darting, sweat buzzing at his hairline, he cleared his Throat, I hauled thousands of products for Jim Jones. He began voice cracking. However, I never saw Cameron touch a single one. The prosecution pounced. Sir Davis, can you explain why your logs indicate a drop-off near Cameron's studio? Seamless swallowing. I was doing my job. The drop-offs were by Gez, not by person. Murmurs rippled through the courtroom. Cameron inhaled. Slowly, a spark of hope in his eyes. Outside, the media circus had escalated. A live program from a famous hip-hop news channel cut to an anchor, Jade, who leaned toward the camera. Fans are startled as Slick's statement raises more questions than replies. Is this indication of a frame-up her co-host? Trey nodded vigorously. We're seeing passions run strong online. Free Amy on trending. Once renewed, but so are demands for responsibility immediately. The concert closed. Comments came in. Some complimented Slick's boldness, some dubbed him a liar. Social media had become a battlefield with each post fanning the flames of public opinion. Meanwhile, Cameron's legal team capitalized on Slick's testimony. Attorney Marcus Reed delivered a fiery reaction voice. Solid, we have absolutely no proof placing Mr. Carter at any illegal enterprise whatsoever. We've seen is hearsay conjecture, and circumstantial at best. He pointed to a stack of studio timestamps. Cameron was recording vocals for his forthcoming album at the exact hours in question. We have producers, engineers, and timestamp files to reveal it behind him. Cam nodded relief. Streaming across his face, the courtroom buzzed. Some jurors whispered among themselves while others scrolled notes intently. Later that day, Jules Santana slipped into court in a hooded jacket, sunglasses, hiding his expression. Once he got the stand, the prosecution quizzed him about his loyalty. Mr. Santana, have you ever witnessed Cameron participating in unlawful operations? Jules squirmed uncomfortably after a long period. He stated, I've seen Cam active in music art business, but never in anything shady. We grew up together. He's always been about the culture, not crime. The courtroom exploded. Onlookers outside cheered. Jules's name, their support reignited. Emotions rushed high as flashbolts popped, filming every instant of Jules's defense. And just when it appeared Cameron might cleared his reputation, a private investigator for the defense, Lindsay Cole, announced a twist. She had found CCTV evidence from a premium auto shop where Cameron met with the same Jim Jones lieutenant weeks before. The arrest, the prosecution gasped as she aired the video. Cameron and the lieutenant went side by side, voices low, exchanging what felt like an envelope. Lindsay's voice was calm as she explained. Further examination revealed the shipment had advertising brochures for an upcoming humanitarian event, not cash or contraband. She brought up the actual flyer emblazoned with charity logos and event dates. The prosecution grimaced, but doubt had been reintroduced. Meantime, deep in the Fez Mobile Command Center stationed across the street, Special Agent Rachel Furrow reviewed a map of phone Ps. She hit an area where Cameron's phone and a known Jones Associates equipment had pins within seconds of each other, kilometers away. We can't ignore this, she explained to her partner Mark. It exhibits great synchronicity if it wasn't deliberate. Mark frowned, but phones may be tricked or switched. I need convincing proof linking the device to Cam. Rachel nodded. Annoyance etched on her face. The research had become a tie cliché between reality and fantasy. In another corner of the city, Cameron's grandmother planned a modest prayer vigil at her brownstone. Friends and family gathered, candles glittering in the chilly, dark air. Kira gripped her brother's old baseball cap, tears sparkling. We need a signal, she said. Someone lit a sparkler, and for a while the flames danced like hope. Their mother, Donna, dropped a handful of rose petals into the breeze. The family was left divided. Some persisted on trusting the justice system. Others spoke of corruption and schemes. Nevertheless, among that group of light, they swore to stand united. No matter the outcome, back at the courthouse, Cameron slumped in. The hallway, exhaustion heavy in his bones, a journalist approached, microphone expanded. Cam, do you have any remark on the recent spying finding? Cam shook his head. Slowly, I'm tired of rumors. I simply want to cleanse my identity and get back to my life and my music. His voice trembled. The reporter persisted on, are you scared? The feds would keep digging? Cam hesitated, then squared his shoulders. I'm not worried they'll uncover nothing, because I did nothing wrong. With thus he turned and walked away, a single figure engulfed by the gray courthouse walls. The following morning, Astelin document from the prosecution's files reached the internet, a series of emails between Cameron's publicist and a Jones insider discussing a launch party for a collaboration song they never released. Conspiracy theorists pounce. Some assumed the melody was code for a money drop. Others insisted it was a simple marketing gimmick gone bad as the paper. Circulated, every news outlet tried to grasp its significance. Cam's phone buzzed nonstop with texts. Fans texted. Worry friends called allegiance, shifting when the barrier between reality and gossip blurred among the commotion. Cam remained focused. He holed up in a secret studio with his core staff, Jadakus Tome and Linz Cole, to strategize. They acted out numerous alternatives, from full exoneration to a plea. Jabakis smashed his fist on the table. We can't allow them win. We need a big statement. No, Games Tone nodded. I'll organize a live stream. Cam can address fans directly. Lentz warned we need to keep to truth. Any slip-up might backfire. Cam inhaled deeply. I'll do it. I'll show them who I am. The plan took shape, but the stakes had never been higher. Outside, the sun dipped over Harlem, painting the sky blood orange. Street murals of Dipset logos and preceding album covers shone in the dusk. Despite the ruckus, wife hurried on breakdancers, spinning on cardboard squares. Salesmen hawked 2 kilometers as the remote beat of late-night ciphers pulsed in alleyways. This was Cameron's cosmos, and suddenly it felt like it was under siege. But as the lights of the city flickered on, a sense of resilience permeated the air. The community that constructed Dipset might also stand up for it. As Chapter 2 draws to a finish, a hush falls over the city's hip-hop pulse. Cameron's live broadcast is about to begin in just hours. Every camera crew is poised, every fan on edge. The plot could twist again, or it could build the case for his innocence. The route from whispers to headlines had taken them here, on the brink of truth or devastation. And with those final breaths of suspense, the stage is prepared for Part 3, where loyalties will be challenged, facts discovered, and Dipset's fate hung by a thread. The live stream began with a faint buzz of anticipation. Cameron entered on screen, seated against the backdrop of Heron Street art. His face was solid, yet worn shadows under his eyes, communicating the story of sleepless nights. He leaned forward, hand shrugged, and addressed his followers directly. I know rumors have flown wild. He began, voice calm. I'm here to tell the record straight. Thousands of comments flowed past in real-time, professions of support, skepticism, questions flying faster than he could read behind the scenes. Jadakus paced off camera, checking his watch every few seconds. Tone monitored these streams' technical charge, guaranteeing no faults, while Lindsay Cole sat with the written transcript of critical parts, ready to intervene if needed at home. Cam's grandmother checked up on her elderly television TV, praying each time Cam drew a breath. Hira watched from her room, gripping a cushion, tears in her eyes, but hope in her heart. Cam continuing, outlining his alibi in full studio records, producer affidavits, and timestamp video clip, showing him writing songs during the supposed drug drop dates. He realized the mistake over the warehouse footage, saying that the meeting was for charity event logistics. He even showed the banner on camera, flipping it so viewers could read the fine print. This is real, he added quietly. This is what I was doing. Emotions ran high as followers typed, "We believe you," and gave them proof in a burst of pixelated togetherness. Just as it looked, Cam may sway popular opinion back in his favor. The screen flickered, a notification popped up, breaking news. The live stream paused, then changed to a split screen, showing a live camera of the courthouse entryway. Reporters hovered around a black sub from which stepped a tall individual wearing a hoodie and sunglasses. The camera zoomed up on Thelisent's plate. It matched the one used by Jim Jones' legal team. Cam's face on stream palled. What is that about? He muttered, coming closer to the camera. The show cut back to Cam, but the harm was done. Social media exploded, conspiracy theories and fresh charges surged. Had Jones's crew placed that card to make it look like Cam was talking with Jones's lawyers in secret? Or was Cam's defense sending mixed signals? The barrier between truth and manipulation blurred more several supporters. Cried foul play, Jones is pulling strings from behind prison. Others thought a new layer of deception is Cam, hiding something again meanwhile. Inside the courthouse, Cam's attorney, Marcus Reed, arrived to bustle. The black thing was parked shamelessly near the press area, drawing camera crews like moles to a burning. Reed jumped out and marched at the truck, demanding answers. "Who permitted this?" he yelled, voice reverberating off the stone walls. An anxious Bauof approached and stammered, It was delivered as evidence from the prosecution." Reed's expression hardened. "They're planning props now?" he shouted inside. He discovered a sealed envelope, labeled Exhibit, 47 bits storing surveillance logs of phone calls between Cam and an unknown number, hours before the warehouse incident. It looked the prosecution was double down. Back in the live stream studio, Cam took a large breath. "We're not done," he said, forcing calm. "I'm going back to court tomorrow and we'll fight this head on." He signed off. "Release more proof soon." Ending the broadcast, the screen faded black, but the discussion continuing. Hashtags adjusted from Thar Free Amaron to Exhibit 47B, kindling another flame of suspicion the next morning. Part 3 of this tale unfolded. Court reconvened with increased zeal. The prosecution introduced its next witness, an IT specialist named Holly Yang, who testified about the phone logs. In example, 47 bits, she demonstrated how call metadata revealed that Cam's device pinged near the warehouse coordinates at exactly the dates in issue. The jury leaned in. Absorbing each detail, Holly's reason was accurate frequency, bands, cell towers, timestamps calibrated to the second the courtroom was wrapped. Cam's allies exchanged concerned glances. Jataka, seated behind him, stated, "They're trying to drown us in data." Tone gripped Cam's shoulder in solidarity. Lindsay scanned through notes, eyes narrowing. She raised her hand for a sidebar with Reed. Whispers passed between them. This show may impact everything. Reed recognized. They had to reject the techniques. He wanted cross-examination, seeking to expose any errors in Holly's analysis. Beyond, the news vehicles queued up, bumper-to-bumper anchors, prepared to pounce on any reaction. A mom from a local mosque stood among the media, seeking prayer for justice, while a group of rappers held a peaceful protest half a block away. Signs read, "Justice for Cameron and truth will prevail." The air crackled with adrenaline. Everyone had taken a side, but deeper uncertainties loomed. Was this regarding justice or notoriety or influence within the courtroom? Reed began cross-examination. He questioned Holly on the dependability of phone pings, mentioning occasions where devices were spoofed. He opposed the presumption that only Cam's phone could have triggered the records. "Could you confirm the device's SIM card belonged to Mr. Carter?" he asked. Holly hesitated, then admitted she had relied on metadata provided by the FIBA, not direct SIM registration records. A murmur of surprise raced through the room. The judge banked his gavel, encouraging order. However, the doubt was sound. Meantime, phrases spread that Jill Santana had met secretly with Agent Rachel from the FI. Rumor had it he offered to give insights into Dipset's internal dealings in exchange for leniency on an unrelated charge. Some saw it as betrayal. Others considered it as strategic survival. Social media speculated. Wildly, Jules turned on Cam. Dipset's genuine snake exposed. The family was left divided once more, this time by issues of allegiance among their own. Amid the tumult, an unexpected testimony arrival. A warehouse clerk named Luis Rodriguez called by the defense. He recalled the day of the claim drop-off in detail. "I spotted a black sub pull up," he says, "but the driver never left the vehicle. They only scanned codes in a clipbook, then left." Lewis pointed to a video fragment exposing the sub's mirror and partial plate matching the one parked outside the courthouse. "No one got out," he repeated, "and nothing was unloaded." The jurors stared closely, exchanging looks for the first time. The defense had a concrete eyewitness objection to the prosecution's narrative. Cam's relief was clear. He inhaled gently, eyes shining. Jadakis massaged his shoulder as if to say, "We got this." But Lind stated, This is one battle, not the war. She reminded them that the feds still housed more exhibits and that additional surprises could emerge. Cam nodded, comprehending the truth that this contest had many rounds left in the corridor after. Court media clamored for statements. Cam went out along the marble stairs, accompanied by Reed and Jules Mix. Thrust forward, cameras ablaze. He cleared his throat. Today's testimony demonstrated they're willing to falsify facts to fit their agenda. He answered firmly, "I'm innocent, and I'll continue to prove it." Sparks exploded as his words echoed a cry of Cam Strong.